Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Victoria Coren Mitchell. In the news this week, at a Lancashire pet shop, there are signs that nearby fracking is taking its toll on some of the residents. There's evidence that since becoming a father, Olympic diver Tom Daley might have let himself go. And after being given an extra £1 billion in the budget for the MOD, a jubilant Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson celebrates by blowing it all in one go. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who used to run one of the roughest pubs in the East End of Glasgow. And if any of the regular drinkers are watching, I'm sure you'll recognise me from Only Connect. Please welcome Janey Godley. And with Paul tonight is the host of Judge Rinder, which means we have a lawyer on the show this week to go with our other 614 lawyers. Please welcome Robert Rinder. And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Janey, have a look at this.
Oh, it's the Chancellor with his giveaway budget. Here it is.
A man that can't plug a thing in, which is normal.
Oh, and that's money.
Yeah.
We've got loads of it now. Those of you who thought we were in the middle of austerity, we're not. It's finished, so that's a happy story. On we go.
That's it. Budget's done.
What's the personal allowance fudge?
There's been a fudge about people's personal allowances. But just like every other budget for the 28 years of this series, I was watching the other side. So I can tell you what happened in Bonanza.
What did happen?
Some cowboys rode up and down.
That's more or less the budget.
Oh,
Why was Liz Truss sitting on Sajid Javid?
Have you got any proof of this?
Yes. Where's the evidence?
Well, unfortunately, we're not allowed to show the evidence because it's in the Houses of Parliament. We can't.
Hearsay, case dismissed.
But apparently there wasn't room. She was trying to squeeze in. There wasn't room for her, so she had to shit.
Everybody wants...
Let's move on from the seating. What about marriage and the budget?
You're allowed to get married anywhere. He announced it beforehand, and then we didn't hear it at the time. But you can get married now. If anyone wants to, I will officiate. No, you can get married in a burger joint, you can get married in a tent, you can get married in a public toilet, and then you get cheaper rates.
I thought you could get married anywhere already.
In Scotland, you can.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what happened to me when I was going to the shops.
What did you think of the jokes in Philip Hammond's speech? You enjoy the jokes?
No, I didn't, because I didn't see it. I was watching Bonanza.
We had the budget on Monday.
Yes.
Specifically so that no one could do any Halloween jokes.
Ah.
He literally changed the timing of it, because he said, I don't want people doing the Hammond House of Horror. You see, which is quite an amusing joke.
Yeah.
He didn't want any Halloween jokes. He didn't want people saying, is it a trick or a treat? Come on, it's Phil Hammond. It's obviously a trick.
To commemorate the joyful occasion of Brexit,
Yes.
what is Philip Hammond going to give us?
There's a 50p to celebrate Brexit. It's an interesting choice of words. It was going to be £1. It's a special coin, and on the back of it, it's going to say, we love everybody who doesn't come from Britain.
We don't know exactly what's going to be on it, but some sort of message for Europe. One person suggested this message. Does anyone remember the old Euro 50p, the 1973 one?
It had hands on it, hands reaching out. It's now been adopted by the Saudi royal family.
Yes.
It was quite big. Do you know, it was a very big coin. Should we get a sense of the scale?
Yeah.
It was this sort of size.
But the buses were smaller then as well, though.
And why does a 50p coin have a flat edge? Does anyone know the reason?
So we can throw it at politicians.
Apparently it's so you can get it out of a Scotsman's hand with a spanner.
Really? Is that the answer?
What would happen if somebody said that to you in your old pub?
Then we would be singing songs at their wake.
Who's been having some money problems regarding Brexit?
Nigel Farage.
What about Aaron Banks?
Oh, he's in trouble. He spent months saying, ha ha, it's all lies, you're a big liar. And now he's being caught, and as we say in Glasgow, your tea's out, son.
What does it mean?
It means, in legal terms, you're going to get hauled into court and get sorted. But we like to say, your tea's out, son.
Because that's good, because it's neutral. It's not saying he's guilty, because we wouldn't want to say that.
No, we wouldn't want to say that.
Because that's very premature.
We would just mention it in the form of hot liquids.
Excellent.
Your tea's out, son.
But that sounds like very good news.
It is good news. He deserves to be dragged into court. He orchestrated a complete lie. He sold Brexit on a lie.
No, I mean, it sounds like good news that tea's ready.
Oh, right.
What has enraged teachers about the budget?
Oh, there was a phrase, wasn't there? Little extras, was that the phrase?
Yeah, like books, that sort of thing.
Like a roof, little extras they need.
He ruined it. I mean, he was doing so well giving away all this money, and then he annoyed people. Just one phrase.
That is a horrible phrase, though. Imagine anybody saying that to you. There's some money. They always give Scotland money, like a creepy uncle giving you your pocket money. Not that they haven't stole it from our oil, let's forget that. But they come out and go, Scotland, here's your money. And we've all go, yay, thank you, master. But we don't do that, and that makes them angry.
What part of Scotland is this?
It's only schools. They didn't say it to the Ministry of Defence. No. Here's some little extras, some guns.
Now, but the other problem with the money for schools is that the Chancellor has allocated less money to schools than he has to what?
Potholes.
Potholes.
Yeah. Big problem.
Well, I wonder if we should try to get a deeper understanding of the problem.
Yes.
By playing a game of Name That Pothole. The way it works is, I'll show you a pothole.
Yeah.
And you have to tell me where it is.
At last, my specialist subject.
Fingers on buzzers.
Margate. Outside number 43, Hillcrest Terrace.
I'll give the point to whoever's closest. You say Margate, you say...
Bournemouth. It looks like a Bournemouth pothole.
Is it somewhere in between?
It's Islington.
Islington.
Oh, that's
Is
where I
that
live.
near a Bournemouth or Margate?
Margate.
Margate. All right, the points go over there. Do you know what? In the borough of Islington, they have a 100% clear-up rate on the potholes.
Yeah.
These are figures from the Pothole Spotters website, which is called...
Potholing for beginners.
fillthathole.org.
Wow.
And potholes is the first thing that comes to people's minds, isn't it?
Let's have the next pothole. Where's
Yeah.
this?
Aberdeen.
No.
No? You say no? Oh, we should have consulted.
Is it a trump course?
Where?
Turnberry.
Is that nearer or further from Godalming than Aberdeen?
It's good to play this game because you've hit on a fundamental mistake about it. You don't know what you're doing. You need a map of Great Britain. You need a glamorous assistant pointing out Margate and Bournemouth and Islington. And a little triangle appears.
You need a social media chat board.
Yeah.
So people could ring in and say what they think about potholes.
Yeah.
God, this programme's so out of date.
That was actually a picture of Chris Peck from fillthathole.org playing golf. And where's this? Go on, Robert.
Cheltenham.
This time you're definitely nearer. It's Bath.
Yes, exactly.
That's John Dawley Brown watering his pansies in Bath.
Yeah.
Must be tricky when he's pricking out. Not many gardeners in. Oh, I can't resist it. Let's have one more. Where's this?
Australia.
I think you're going to be closer this time.
Is it Essex?
No, it's Wisbech near Ely.
I have to tell you, that looks more like the sort of Fill My Hole website that I've seen.
A few more things about the budget. Philip Hammond is taking on FANGS.
This is an acronym, is it?
Yes?
Facebook and Netflix.
It's a list of companies, FANGS. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google and Satan. And he's introducing... Oh, sorry, not Satan. It's just a plural S. I'm so sorry. A digital services tax for the big online companies, but it won't be implemented until 2020 to give them time to think of a way of dodging it. What tax did George Osborne bring in to tackle the internet giants?
Why are you looking at me? I mean, I only go to the gym with him. I don't talk about that.
Do you go to the gym with him?
With George Osborne?
Time to time.
Who can lift more weights?
Me.
Who's faster on the running machine?
Me.
Who destroyed Britain?
Well, he introduced...
He's got a lovely set of buttocks. That's the main thing.
You make him sound like he collects them. None of them are his own. This is a wooden pair from Lord Rochester in 1873.
Well, he introduced a tax, the so-called Google tax.
Yes.
And who didn't pay it?
Google.
That's right. Were they convinced the government that it didn't apply to them? Last question on this.
Yes.
What has Vince Cable warned will be a terrible consequence of Brexit?
The dancers in Strictly Come Dancing, many of them are European. They may have trouble getting work visas, I suppose, work permits. I suppose that's the worry.
That's right. He told the Mail, the rate things are going, we could see half the Strictly cast disappearing after we leave. Which one would you be sorriest to see go, Ian?
Ulyenka.
Tonight, Ian Hislop will be dancing the rumba with the ghost of Lloyd George.
You should get on there quickly before Jeremy Corbyn goes on. Let's have a look at him dancing.
Yeah, go on then.
Swinging both ways. Left to right. More to the left, though.
That must be the sponsor at the back. That must mean it's the Pride of Britain Awards, is it? Because
Yes.
this
Yeah,
would be the... Yeah.
That's unfortunate, isn't it?
This is Philip Hammond's so-called giveaway budget. The Chancellor has changed the law to allow people to get married in fast food outlets such as McDonald's. There will still be solemn and legally binding ceremonies with the registrar present to fillet-officiate. To complete the romantic experience, you can consummate the marriage behind the bins.
Is that why we had that story?
Yeah.
It was also announced this week that there is to be a special 50p piece to commemorate Brexit. They've got most of the design worked out. They just can't quite decide what to do with the border. This week, David Cameron visited a petrol station in Marton and asked for a whisper, to which the shopkeeper said, "You fucked up Brexit." Paul and Robert, have a look at this.
That's a man, I think he used to work for the Waitrose magazine.
William Sitwell.
William Sitwell, is that his name? There's the aforementioned supermarket, Waitrose. And there's a man who's pretending to look for his glasses, but actually isn't, and takes them off to see something a little bit clearer. So, terrible piece of acting from that gentleman. Because if you see, the glasses are down his nose when he starts.
Clearly doesn't need the glasses at
Look,
all.
here we go, look, here we go. Watch this again. Look, there we are, watch. He's looking over the top of them, right? Can't quite make out the writing, so he takes them off. But he wasn't looking through them in the first place. And this is the kind of crap I have to put up with on this show. You wouldn't get that happening in Bonanza for a start. When you see a bloke on a horse, it's the same horse throughout the entire show. What was the question?
Angry vegans.
Angry vegans, that's it, Waitrose. Yeah, the Waitrose editor got very angry. So a journalist suggested an article about vegans.
He threatened to kill them.
And he threatened to kill them.
He lost his job over this.
Yes, I haven't heard. What did he say?
A vegan writer
Yes.
got in touch with him and pitched a series of plant-based meals.
Yeah.
And he wrote back, how about a series on killing vegans one by one?
It was meant to be a joke, wasn't
Yeah.
it? He was obviously fed up with having a lot of articles pitched to him about vegans and made a joke about, well, why don't we have one about killing them? And then it went on Twitter. And then it went mad.
Isn't Twitter awful? Well, don't write to me. All I'll do is correct the spelling of your tweet and send it back. Hashtag bugger off.
Wasn't he a Russian spy in the 1950s?
Oleg.
Remember?
Oleg bugger off, that was it.
Yeah.
I wonder sort of why the vegans are so angry. I'm not sure they're angry. I think they might just
I know people are pretending that
No,
they're
I just think they
angry.
might...
Surely they're not.
You don't just think they might be hungry. I mean, that's
When he lost his job, the Vegan Society released a statement saying, "We hope this sets a precedent that it's not acceptable to mock a group of people because of their lifestyle choices." That's a massive thing to say. I mean, we might as well all go home, no?
Yeah. It's weird that they were baying for blood, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
I mean, it's Twitter. It's that thing that if you never get picked, like, as the monitor or a prefect at school, you can be one on Twitter. And I'm a bit guilty of it. I've hit my menopause and I've got quite a lot of time in my hands, so I'm just picking people off on Twitter. It was that or knitting. You don't want to give me needles. I'm a Glaswegian.
Was Spock a vegan?
No. Vulcan. No, it wasn't Vulcan.
Very worried he might have lost his job as first officer.
Why was Sitwell's comments particularly embarrassing for Waitrose this week?
They were launching a killer vegan week. Half price off yoghurt.
It's the opposite.
They've got lots of vegan food, because it's very
Give
popular.
birth to a vegan week.
Well,
The opposite of killing one.
no, this is the week of International Vegan Day.
Oh, right.
What else has Waitrose had problems with this week?
People stealing their coffee when they go in with their own cup.
Don't worry, they can't prosecute you if you admit it.
Is that true?
No.
No.
Waitrose have had problems with a cheese. Have you heard about a cheese at all?
Stinky cheese, or it's called something hideous.
Yes.
Slut cheese or something.
Keep
cheese.
keep going.
Whore cheese.
I'm finding this quite erotic.
Strumpet cheese.
Scatological cheese.
It's
Trollop cheese with biscuits.
Slaggy waggy cheese.
no, just
Huzzy cheese.
Your maw cheese.
Dirty old cow cheese.
Smell cheese.
Dirty old cow
Slutty,
cheese.
smut, slutty cheese.
Am I having a nightmare?
Put your clothes back on cheese. Is it not cheese?
No, it's smelly Scottish cheese called the Minger.
Oh.
Yes, it's described as a ewe's milk brie with a hard rind and a soft, gooey middle. That's what it says on my business card. And what are Waitrose unhappy about?
It's stinking out the supermarket. It's too smelly.
No, they like the smell.
Yeah.
They don't like the name.
Well, it might be a bit awkward. You get to the checkout and you're with your significant other, and
Yes,
you say,
indeed.
there you have. There, you've got your minger with you.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Is it a traditional
I'd just like to point out I didn't move a muscle during that exchange. Although every muscle inside me was screaming.
Who else, apart from William Sitwell, who
Yeah.
else has been in trouble for banter?
Sir Philip Green.
Oh, yeah.
It's nearly pantomime season, isn't it?
Yes, he said this has been the worst week of his life.
Has it really?
Yeah, there are people dressing up as him for Halloween. Taking their tops off, running around the street,
Yes,
sitting on yachts in bathing costumes.
It's a brave look. He's a brave man to be able to keep going about half naked like that. In Scotland, we call it taps off. It means tops off. But normally, we like the people to look like they're human when they take their top off. We don't want them to look like a big bloated manatee that's went loose near a shipping yard.
Leaving aside what Philip Green may or may not have done or what you might think of him personally, what do you think about what he's saying of Lord Hayne, that he thinks he's above the law? Is it OK to name him in the Lords?
Well, I mean, there was a court order and he probably shouldn't have done it, but...
It's an ancient privilege for Parliament, though, that the representatives are allowed to disclose these things under privilege.
That's true, you can do that. I think, haven't you done that once?
No, I've never been an MP or a member
No,
of the
but
House of Lords.
weren't you in a parliamentary committee, and didn't you do that? I seem to remember, I might be wrong.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, well, a lot of this is ancient
Yeah.
history. I think
You don't want, I mean, you know...
There is another thing, though, isn't there? There's something that Peter Hayne didn't disclose before naming Philip Green in the Lords. What's that?
a connection with the law firm that's working for the Telegraph. And that's given Philip Green an attempt to regain some of the moral high ground. But there's quite a lot to go for Philip. It's quite a big climb up to the top of Everest. So I don't think he's going to get there.
How much banter has Philip Green been attempting?
He says it's banter. Other people say it isn't. And he's made a number of agreements with people for £500,000, £1 million. I mean, that's quite a lot of banter, isn't it?
According to The Times, there are at least 7 cases in which former workers received substantial payouts to settle claims against Sir Philip, several of which reached at least £1 million.
Well, why is he paying out that money for banter?
Yeah. And if you say to someone, oh, I don't like your dress, £1 million. Perfectly reasonable.
You would never say such an ungallant thing anyway.
No, I really like your dress.
Oh, it's gone creepy now. It's gone the other way. It's gone the other way.
Green's been accused of racism in the past. What was his defence to that allegation?
I view everybody with contempt.
Hang on, I mean, He's an idiot. Didn't he say something like, how can I be racist? My taxi driver is a black man or something?
Yes. Am I racist? He said to the Mail. Am I racist? The fact is, I've had a black chauffeur for the past 12 years. Case closed, Your Honour. Speaking of £1 million...
Yes.
Yes.
How did Philip Green allegedly try to spend £1 million in 2010?
His birthday party?
Yes.
No, but it is to do with an evening out.
Did he hire Kate Moss?
Warmer.
He had like
Did
a
he
big
hire
event.
Kate Middleton?
I would say colder. Nancy Del Olio...
Oh, yes.
told
Nancy
the Sun...
DeLolio.
Oh, Lord.
Nancy Del Olio told The Sun that in 2010, after an event, Philip pawed at my wrist and told me, if you come with me now to my apartment, this night will be worth £1 million.
Wow.
Oh, please.
Wow. Not enough epidural in the world.
Who did she claim tried to chat her up in 2012?
Me.
No.
It was Ian Hislop.
What?
Yes. After she did this show in 2012, Nancy Del Olio told The Sun about Ian. He wanted to take me for a drink afterwards, but I couldn't go. Good evening.
It was Bants. It's just not true.
No.
At the end of the show, we go and have a drink in hospitality. She was sitting there, I was sitting there. I said, we're going to have a drink. That was it. Sorry, that was me being Bruno Tololioli.
But yes, but what Ian's not telling you is that 2 hours later they were behind the bins at McDonald's. They couldn't separate them.
Janey,
Yes.
you've got some experience of making powerful businessmen face up to the truth, haven't you? Shall we have a look at a picture?
That sign actually says runt. It's where I actually put my hand that made it look bad. That's the truth.
What was the occasion?
Donald Trump came back to Turnberry after my original protest in 2016, and I realised that I had to go back, and the police said to me, can you please not have a swear word on your poster? I went, OK. So I wrote Trump is a runt, but as I say, I unfortunately held the poster wrong.
Looks like the opening of a Strictly Come Dance routine.
This is the resignation of the Waitrose magazine editor William Sitwell. According to The Guardian, 21% of the population now claim to be flexitarian, i.e. vegans who occasionally eat meat. Or, as I call them, not vegans. Of course, if you really want to upset a vegan by email, just send them some spam. Also this week, Waitrose have asked for a cheese called the Minger to be renamed as it may offend their customers. If you want to know what it smells like, lavender, rosemary and saffron all shop at Waitrose so they could tell you. Also this week, Philip Green has denied allegations of bullying and sexism. Much of Philip Green's business empire, Arcadia, is actually controlled by his wife. Fair enough, you wouldn't want him interfering with Dorothy Perkins. According to The Times, Lady Green remains in Monte Carlo designing yacht interiors. It's good to have a trade to fall back on. So at the end of that round, 2 points each.
2 points each.
And so to round 2, the cauldron of news. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
That took us by surprise. The Metropolitan Police are going to start selling a brand of clothing. They're going to turn it into a clothing shop, so you can buy... It used to be an offence to impersonate a policeman, but now you can buy police uniforms, helmets, truncheons, a lot, handcuffs. They're opening their own shop.
Right, and people from the Met as well. So you can have sort of Y-fronts on that say Cressida Dick.
Yes.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
Don't use this as a two-shot. Again, it looks like I was part of it. I mean...
Yes. I got a...
They're still doing it. Look, they're still doing it.
What's inspired the range?
Desperation.
New York Police Department.
Yeah, that's right. Let's have a look at some of the NYPD-branded clothing that's done well.
Yeah.
According to The Times, the Met clothing range will feature the Met Police font and colour palette. Should we see a mock-up from the Evening Standard?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Wow.
And as you say, Robert, some items will also include imagery of officers on patrol.
Wow.
Would you
no
like-
one's seen that for years.
What has been credited with improving the Met's brand recently? It's something that the PR guru Mark Bukowski has said has been very good for the image of the Met Police.
Is it some TV programme that
Yes.
features the police?
Is it The Bodyguard?
The Bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
The Bodyguard has apparently helped stir up the sexiness of the brand. Did you see that show?
Scottish man walking about going, I'll look after you. I'm like, no, I don't think so. That's creepy.
No, it wasn't creepy, no.
If you were in a bar
Yeah.
and an armed robber came in,
Yeah.
what would you do?
Well, who's he robbing? Is he robbing the bar?
He's robbing the bar.
Well, that's all right with me, then.
That's what you have in common with the gentleman in Brazil.
Yeah.
Shall we have a look at this armed robbery? Pay close attention to the man on the right
Yes.
who's looking at his phone.
Oh, Lord.
Also this week, the Security Minister, Ben Wallace, said that organised crime is costing the UK £37 billion. Whose fault is that?
Organised criminals.
The general public.
Yes, according to Ben Wallace, the public needs to face up to their role in supporting organised crime. He singled out people using nail bars and car washes. Who is mostly responsible for allowing that to happen?
That's the middle class, surely.
That's professions such as estate agents, accountants and lawyers.
Ah, well. Money laundering was, my speciality, defending money launderers. So I don't think I contributed really anything to them. I mean, they contributed the odd thing to me.
Did you get them off?
No, but I bought a house.
Why have police in South Yorkshire been ridiculed this week?
For not taking part in the musical of Policemen Who Strip.
That's not it. It's because of an e-fit they released of a man.
yes.
Yes.
I didn't see it, but I'm very happy to look at it.
Brilliant.
OK, it's a man with a ginger beard who
Yeah.
wanted in connection with the robbery. Should we have a look?
Yeah.
Here's the e-fit.
Oh, it's Prince Harry.
He's got 3 different types of hair colour.
He's been to a really dodgy nail bar, hasn't he?
Why is Police Constable Lee Willis not a fan of e-fits?
Ah, because he looks like one of them. And he keeps getting being arrested by his chums in the canteen.
He doesn't. He is still being ridiculed for one that he drew 14 years ago. Poor PC Willis. He told the Metro this week, at the time, I thought this is really good.
I didn't do that. Genuinely looks like my husband.
Why is the e-fit still being used?
They haven't found him.
According to the Times, the image is so bad that it's still passed from station to station as an example of how not to construct an e-fit. I've never wanted to be in the police as much as I did when I read that this PC Willis said that I recently walked into a briefing and they were all wearing it on face masks. Why did one Nottinghamshire man get so upset about cash this week that he called 999?
Oh, I don't know.
No idea.
He went to a petrol station to put in £10 worth of fuel, but accidentally put in £10 and 3 pence worth. And when they asked him for the additional 3p, he was so angry, he called the police.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
Shall we have a
He
listen?
called the police.
He called the police. Do you want to hear the call?
Yeah, go on.
Here it is.
Police emergency, what's the emergency?
I'm just at a petrol station, and the chap at the petrol, at the till, he's I put £10 in. It's gone slightly over by 3 pence, and he won't let me out the shop because he wants 3 pence. But I've not got 3p.
I'll take the call, but this isn't an emergency.
I've got notes on me. I just not got 3 pence.
Right, well, if you've got a note and you've got the money to pay, then you should pay.
That's ridiculous. So why am I going to break into a tenner for 3 pence?
I wonder if we had a spanner to get it out his pocket.
This is the news that the Met Police are launching a new range of merchandise. It's not known where they plan to sell all this stuff, presumably PC World.
Yes.
Soon you'll be able to order the items on Amazon, and one thing's for sure, they'll arrive at your door a damn sight quicker than a policeman. Back to the cauldron of news. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Paul and Robert.
This is the robot.
Robot.
Robot made that.
Artificial intelligence. A robot painted that picture. It's not really what you would call finished. It kind of... Somehow he's managed to create the pixelated effect where you can't really tell who it is.
Is it Nancy Dell'Olio?
So that's... You know, it's a robot's attempt to paint a portrait. I mean, it's...
Sold for a fortune.
Did it?
How much did it sell for?
£1 million, wasn't it? Something like that.
Well, it wasn't a million.
How much is it?
It was expected to sell for $10,000.
Oh.
But at a Christie's auction in New York, it went for $432,500. Let's just see it again. What do we think? Is it any good?
No. No. It looks like somebody's did it with a dab, dab, dab bingo pen.
Does it remind you of anything? Should we have a look?
Looks like Sir Philip Green.
Something by Rembrandt, perhaps?
See, I think it looks like the restoration attempt of Ecce Homo.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Let's have a look at that.
I love that.
It also reminds me slightly of this. But is it art?
What was the robot trying to do? Was it a specific portrait?
I think that's absolutely the nub of the thing. Obviously, it's not trying to do anything. It doesn't have intent. So can it be art?
No. You've nailed it.
Not art?
It isn't.
According to one of the programmers of the robot, if you look at the form and ignore the things that art is about, then the algorithm is just generating visual forms and following aesthetic principles extracted from existing art. But if you consider the whole process, then what you have is something more like conceptual art than traditional painting. Still can't do noses, though. Google's artificial intelligence software was fooled by this picture. Can you tell me what we're looking at?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's a cat.
It's either a cat or a bird.
I think because it only looks like a crow, unless if you can go like this at the TV sideways and imagine that you can't see one of the cat's eyes. So this is an ear, and this is an ear. But that went viral, didn't it? Because people...
Did it? Because people haven't got much to do.
Sticking with animals going viral,
Yes.
what novel food item could be on your Christmas dinner table this year?
Pelican.
No.
Penguin.
It's this bear made of turkey.
What?
Wow!
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, good Lord.
That's very Halloweenish, isn't it?
Yes, it's something that was created by a Russian artist and then it was tweeted by somebody as a sort of must-have toy for Christmas. I mean, it's really awful. So it wasn't bad. I mean, vegans must be feeling very welcome to the show tonight. The bear has been described as something the kids will enjoy. Talking to their therapist about in 20 years' time. Before we leave the cauldron of news, what was put on the bonfire this year in Lewis?
Oh, I don't know about Lewis. There was a fantastic Boris guy. I thought it was...
Edenbridge.
Edenbridge.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. I'm going to ask a question again, just in case we've got it both ways. Before we leave the cauldron of news, what was burnt on a bonfire this week?
Boris Johnson in Edenbridge. That's the bit they'll use, Ian.
You're right, Paul, and now we know why I always lose.
A Boris Johnson effigy. Did you see that, Bert?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really good, and he hasn't got his trousers on. He's obviously run away from another bonfire. And one of the people who are making it said, at last we can show him with his pants on fire.
That's the one. It's good, isn't it?
I don't really like it when they burn these effigies on the bonfire. No. Like they do in Lewis every year.
They
Do you not?
No, I find it a bit creepy. I mean, in a way, I like the old-fashioned nature of celebrating bonfire night rather than Halloween.
Yes, I hate all those ghouls and monsters. I think burning Catholics is much healthier.
Happy Halloween. This is the news that a painting created by artificial intelligence has been sold at auction. The painting is mainly black and white, which, according to an art expert, means that the computer shows a sophisticated appreciation of light and shade. Either that or someone needs to change the cartridge. One AI researcher referred to the programme as basic binary hokey-cokey. which is also the new way to describe a heterosexual disco. That means at the end of this round, it's 2 points for Ian and Janey. Paul and Robert have 4.
Oh. Going well.
Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features the magician's favourite monthly magazine, Magic Scene. And we start with one of the hardest tricks for any magician is what?
To be called Ian. Look at the words.
It's brilliant.
Magic Ian.
Magic Ian.
Yeah.
Magic Ian, yeah.
That is good. Magic Ian is good.
You just bullied them into clapping.
Yes! This is how I got all my things.
One of the hardest tricks for any magician is trying to find enough bookings. This is an editorial piece from Magic Scene containing advice for aspiring magicians. If you'd like to find out more, you can send a letter to the editor. Or a card, any card. Next, what opening a branch at MI5?
Is it ISIS?
Greg's.
Greg's Bakery opening a branch at MI5. This is the news that Greg's, famous for their competitively priced meat pies, are opening a branch at the GCHQ Listening Centre. Their motto is, we're all ears. Just to be clear, that's GCHQ, not Greg's Meat Pies. Next, gay penguin couple, what?
Seek similar.
Gay penguin couple welcome their first child. Oh. These are the gay penguins in Sydney Aquarium who've just become parents. Here's the happy couple. Not sure how their baby was conceived, but I imagine the sperm was frozen. Next, Bram Stoker used to what while researching Dracula?
I know that he used to drink blood.
Watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Don't they used to sleep in a coffin?
This week's news is none of those things. Deface library books. Bram Stoker used to deface library books while researching Dracula. It was discovered this week at the London Library that a number of research books used by Bram Stoker contained hand-scrawled notes. The library said they were disappointed nobody spoke up at the time. Well, it's your own fault. You will put that big sign up. Next, Prince Andrew upset magician by what?
His mere existence.
Is it pouring paraffin over him?
Is it touching his rabbit?
Was he haggling about his fee at the royal wedding?
It is to do
He
with
was
the royal
doing
wedding.
close magic during the sermon.
Prince Andrew upset magician by talking through his act.
He didn't.
Makes a change from talking through his arse, doesn't it? Thank you very much. Thank you.
This week it was revealed that at Eugenie's wedding, Prince Andrew upset a magician by talking through his act. The royal family spent £2 million of taxpayers' money on security at Eugenie's wedding, and still Robbie Williams got in. Next, man becomes world Scrabble champion by what?
Sheer charisma.
Being better than the other competitors. Using the word ya. We've scored in 48 points.
Man becomes world Scrabble champion by placing miserable word. This is Kiwi Nigel Richards, who's been crowned world Scrabble champion this week by placing the word groutier. Here he is. Groutier, of course, means sulkier or surlier, and to celebrate his success, he spent a night on the tiles. And finally, man wants what to be recognised as a world record?
The most rabbits out of a hat in the shortest time.
Is it man wants his pigeon folding ability to be recognised as a world record?
His pigeon folding ability.
Yeah, you know how magicians have pigeons and then they fold them up into tiny wee pigeons?
It's not...
I haven't seen this act. What, and then do this?
Yeah, and then they go, that's a pigeon, and then they catch it, and then they fold it back up. It's called pigeon origami. It's a thing.
The RSPCA have been trying to stop it for years. Yeah.
This is not from Magic Scene. The answer is, man wants sailing a giant pumpkin down the River Ouse to be recognised as a world record.
Well, that's not one we were going to guess easily, is it?
This is Tom Percy, who's trying to get a Guinness World Record for successfully sailing the biggest pumpkin. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Halfway through his voyage down the river, Tom Percy noticed there was a leak in his giant pumpkin, which he picked up and used as a paddle. So the final scores are Ian and Janey with 3, Paul and Robert with 7. Before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Paul and Robert, get this.
New Top Gear format surprises all.
Rees-Mogg's picnic day out.
Bored Rolls-Royce yawns in background.
Ian and Janey have this.
Oh, that's a woman at a wedding with a big bird with its beak tied so that she'll know what to expect in the years to come.
Pelican says a stork couldn't make it, but you're 3 months pregnant.
And I leave you with news that during a tense meeting at the BBC, one star demands more royalties from the sale of David Attenborough's DVDs. On a train in Leeds, a harassed passenger tries to make a subtle move towards the emergency brake handle. And in the Oval Office kitchen, Donald Trump intercepts a message from Melania. Good night.